How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another React video. And as you're seeing here from my earlier video, we have got this one over here. Our collab with SpyX Family has arrived, and this is following up from the Capcom video. I thought it was, it was appropriate to have this one here because my God, does that look awful. That looks absolutely awful. I would take the one on the left any day of the week. That looks like something that came out of Frankenstein. And even then, I think Frankenstein looks better. That is just some serious bad juju of a monstrosity. Holy crap, that's bad. Like, really, really bad. But let's see if how this video goes. I haven't actually watched it in full yet. I've only seen the thumbnail, and I just thought, you know what, with the video I made earlier, this actually works. This actually works as a react to follow that up. So let's get started. All right, so here we go.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to be going over two different situations where beloved characters and IPs are being absolutely butchered by billion-dollar companies. Now we're going to start with this monstrosity right here. This is the result of a very hyped up collaboration between Street Fighter and Spy Family. And this is an avatar costume that a lot of people think.
And you know what? I think he got it right when he said monstrosity, because that looks hideous. There's no way anyone at Capcom thought that was a good representation. If I was the actual, proprietors of SpyX Family, I would be highly offended.
Is really bad because this is a official screenshot from Capcom's promotion of this collaboration. Now, how did this happen? Well, it was a much hyped up collab between Spy Family and Street Fighter. And it just seems like with two IPs like that, this was going to be a very big event and something really cool was going to come out of it. And also they made a full-fledged animation featuring Forager and Chun-Li.
And if you haven't seen this, it's actually really damn cool. Now, this is what I was expecting when I saw this. That is what I was expecting. I actually expected it to be a playable character. I expected her to be awesome. But what I didn't expect is what I saw.
And let's face it too, these two characters are very recognizable, not only for their just, how the character is in general, but also their outfits. So there was a lot of potential here with this collaboration, and people expected something really cool. Well, they didn't get that. They got this. And a lot of people are memeing on this costume. It is not a typical character costume. It's an avatar costume, and basically nobody plays the OC, so it's a very strange and kind of worthless event. And this is the official image they shared with their audience promoting this. This is a screenshot right from Street Fighter's official account. And it just doesn't look very good, ladies and gentlemen. Compare that to Forager from the anime or even the promotional event. It just doesn't look good. And I think people are justified.
You know what? I agree. Like, why wouldn't they use the one on the left? Why wouldn't they create it like from the anime? Like, what is wrong with these people? Like, I don't get it. Like, I genuinely don't. If you've got a reference to go by something and you're not doing it, off head, if you're doing something from a licensed product, why not keep it as true to the source material? Why does it have to be changed?
I'm saying this is very underwhelming. And within only hours of this avatar costume being released, people were already making better recreations. Like, I don't understand how they promoted it so poorly when it had potential to look much better like this.
And that's the thing, right? I mean, this is done through mods, which Capcom are very, very against, and actually issuing DMCAs, copyright strikes, you name it, channel strikes. They're doing the whole thing. But you tell me what is better, what we just looked at or what someone created here to represent you much more closely.
I mean, compare the two. Look at this. This officially shared image from Street Fighter's account versus some random player. It only took them a few hours to make it much more polished. But a lot of other people were comparing the trailer versus the skin because they hyped it up so strongly in the trailer. You had this actual anime-styled animation here, and then you get this skin and it's only for the avatar. It's just very strange. And a lot of people are pointing out the irony of how poorly this looks. So $1.5 billion company Capcom, upper left right here, versus three weebs in some faraway country, Dead or Alive, Skyrim, and GTA V, your mods. So you can see, even though this image is a little blurry, you can see their official avatar costume they released and promoted on their official account versus three mods made by players. They're infinitely better than what Capcom is coming out with, and that's really embarrassing to say.
And the worst part is they're probably going to have the right skin looking, but have it in a shop for $19.99.
But the irony goes further because Capcom has been on a warpath with mods. Back in November, this is something we covered on the channel, they straight out said that mods are no different than cheating. And we're talking about mods like enhancing the appearance of your character. They're saying that's as bad as cheating, like fundamentally changing the game to give yourself an actual advantage in the game. They think those things are the same. In fact, they encourage their company and other companies to crack down on mods based on a standard that says offensive to public order and morals. If mods are offensive to public order and morals, they should be banned. Yeah, that's a pretty Puritan-like standard you would expect back in the 1950s, not in the year 2023 when this was made.
So basically what Capcom here is saying is if the male or the female character looks sexy, attractive, too good looking, proportioned in certain parts of their body, that's absolutely offensive to the average person. I really hope that this culture ends soon, at least, because it's starting to get suffocating that looking at something that is attractive to you or to the average person is now deemed as a taboo, and everything has to be, I really hate to use the word, but ugly. What I mean, some people have got it, some people don't. It's just the way we are born. I'm not saying I look great, but at the end of the day, if someone else looks amazing, I'm not going to shit on them. I'm not going to turn around and say, you shouldn't be allowed to see the light of day because you look amazing. It's just the way it is. But this whole witch hunt that's going on within the Western market, and we saw it with Stellar Blade as well, this whole witch hunt just needs to end. I mean, they are literally shaming people that actually look good. How is that any different to what they're doing now?
And it's absolutely insane and really proof of how out of touch these companies are. But going on, here's some other highly liked tweets quoting the original Street Fighter promotional tweet saying making this an avatar costume instead of a normal character costume has to be the biggest fumble in history. The Chun Yor costume would have made enough money to fund 10 more seasons of this game, which is a very good point. Not only is it just a disappointing result, fans don't like it, but they could have made so much money. And as a business, it's crazy to see them choose a clearly worse option. Like, it's in their own incentive to make it something that everyone could have as a normal character costume, but instead they make it an avatar costume, and people just don't really care about avatar costumes. And that's reflected in this tweet here saying, this is genuinely why I hate character creators in fighting games, man. All the cool stuff goes to the effing OC that nobody uses. And that's exactly what a lot of people are saying. It's just a totally underwhelming event. Here's another quote saying, whoever's doing community gauging and marketing has zero clue what they are doing. Instead of making this an actual character costume, at the very least, they made it into an avatar clothing set. There was so much hype around this due to the animation, and you turn it into that, and that really sums up how people have reacted to this avatar costume, this whole event. Very disappointing to see so much potential because of the characters and the IPs involved, and yeah, a very disappointing result.
I think the worst part about all of that is the fact that they actually did release that animation, and that animation gave a false impression. It's almost like it's false advertising. It's almost, I mean, I would put this on the borderline of, deceiving the community. You're basically giving something, you're promoting something that they're not getting. It's not going to be that. What they showed you during that animation, I'm not going to play it because Capcom is literally on a warpath at the moment. But what it is that they actually showed was completely different to what you actually got. And I think that is really bad. They basically hyped up this event by showing the community what you want. So there's like, hey, I know what you want. You want this, right? Look at this amazing stuff. Look at this amazing animation. I know you want that. So what I'm going to do is completely not give you what you want and give you something you don't want. And maybe at a later date, once this event is over, I'll put it in the cash shop so you can buy it. But if you try to mod that into the game, we got your ass. That's pretty much Capcom's stance right now. But this is even worse, right? That on the left, cat on the left, it's supposed to be the other right. Who has Sony for the house? I thought that was okay. Why? Why? I don't mean to feel. I feel bad for laughing. But why?
But now we're going to move on to another disappointing result involving a beloved franchise. So this is an image that people are reacting to. This is a sneak peek of the Gravity Rush movie that is in the works. Now, I don't think you have to be very familiar with this franchise to understand how much of a downgrade this is.
Then might as well just rename this to something else, because this is an insult to, Sony Japan, the Sony Studio of Japan.
Comparing the original character from the IP to this movie, this is like one of the ugliest designs I have seen. Now, obviously, people are outraged over this downgrade.
It looks nothing like the character. Nothing. The costume is wrong. The face is wrong. The hair is wrong. Everything you could possibly get to make it wrong is wrong. Western companies, what is wrong with you?
But I also will admit, I'm not someone who was familiar with the Gravity Rush IP. So in preparing for this video, I did a lot of research on it. And when you find out kind of the timeline of events leading up until this image right here, you will understand why people are so offended by this within the community of Gravity Rush. So back, I believe in 2012 was when the first installment of the Gravity Rush game released on the PlayStation. It was very well liked, very popular, to the point where in 2016 there was an actual anime adaptation of this game released called Gravity Days. It's 20 minutes long, and looking through the screenshots of it, it is beautifully made.
It's a very good game, by the way. The original was phenomenal. The sequel, they kind of lost their way a little, tried to make it a little more mainstream and more cost effective, because the original was on the handheld, and you actually had to, rotate the handheld and stuff in order to get the actual gravity. You could actually change it around. It was really cool. The concept of it was amazing, and the best part was it actually worked. The sequel kind of went to a home console, so you kind of lost that gimmick from the handheld console. But it still wasn't a bad game, but it lost what made it unique, if you know what I mean. But still, the animations looked beautiful on both, and well, you saw what we're getting for the movie.
It's very aesthetically pleasing, very, very, very well done. A lot of people really enjoyed this adaptation, and that was a lead-in to the release of Gravity Rush 2 in 2017. Once again, very well-received game, and by players, by their determination, a lot of them considered this to be the end of the franchise. This was the bow on it. This was supposed to be the end. So they were very confused and stunned when in 2022, it was announced that there was a Gravity Rush film in works. Now, a lot of the really diehard fans of this franchise, of course they want more content based on, the game or the anime or something like that. But even they were like, I don't know if I want this, because this seemed so random. And also confusing, because back in 2021, a year before the movie announcement, Japan's studio was shut down by Sony. That is the studio that made the games and the anime, the entire franchise. Those developers are gone. All the people who worked on developing those projects for Gravity Rush are gone. So who is making this movie? Who are the people involved with adapting this IP for the movie? It's very concerning. And we got these leaks, well, not even leaks, these teaser images of the movie back a few days ago when Sony held a CES press conference, and they were showing off some new tech they're using. And we saw some very short clips coming out of this movie. And let's just say, ladies and gentlemen, they are terrible. They look really, really bad. I don't think anyone actually likes this. And this is the image in particular featuring the main character of the franchise that people are talking the most about. Because my God, what a massacre, what a butcher job of this character.
I mean, I can't really say it better than myself. They absolutely massacred, butchered, murdered Cat. There's just no two ways about it. That is horrendous.
I mean, this is really, really embarrassing. The obsession with making things as ugly as possible these days in certain Western developments, because this was developed in Sony's Western team. I don't know what is going on with these companies and their obsession with making everything so unappealing.
And that's the thing, right? Why? Why does everything have to be that unappealing? I mean, we've seen it with Fable as well. Like, why does it have to be that unappealing? We see it with so many games. Why? What is wrong with making a character looking nice? I mean, we saw with Resident Evil's Ada Wong, it was done right. So why do they have to go from that to what's done here? I just don't get it. I mean, there is a clear obsession with this. There is a clear political agenda here. There's nothing else to describe it. It is a clear political agenda to shame people that look nice. I get the over-sexualization of women, and I'll agree with that to a certain extent. But that's not even what's happening here. They are literally taking the source material and making it as ugly as possible and then releasing it. And I just don't see a need for that. And I'm really hoping that this fad ends soon, because companies need to realize that this isn't helping them. It may be helping the 3-4 people working in the company, but for the mass majority of people, it's not a win.
And this is probably the best summation. So, what in the code Lyoko looking ass, low quality but high budget money laundering scheme, Lord Farquaad, and the Final Fantasy Spirits Within crossover no one asked for, empty, soulless landscapes with poor lighting making the world feel dead kind of 2005 Red versus Blue project is this. Mic drop, ladies and gentlemen. A perfect summation of how people feel about this situation. But yeah.
Oh boy.
Japan studio was shut down for this. So at least when the studio was shut down, there was kind of a finality to the situation, right? Like, it's over and you don't expect anything else to come out of that franchise, because at that point you're just basically digging up a corpse for the purpose of making money, and that's exactly what's going on here. And a lot of people within the fandom are like, I wish Sony just continued to ignore this IP, just leave Gravity Rush alone, especially after all this time. But in general, a lot of people were tagging me about this story.
I mean, how much nicer does that look compared to what we were just looking at? I mean, it's night and day, right? And I just don't get it. I really don't. And the thing is, mods can fix these, right? If you don't like it, that's where mods come in. But if you try to mod anything for Capcom, goodbye channel.
And I wanted to share that as well alongside the Street Fighter stuff, because this was a crazy situation, and looking at the history of Studio Japan and their involvement and their eventual shutdown and the timing of the film and also the leaked or the shared images from the recent events. This is a crazy situation, and as always with both of these situations we covered today, share all of your thoughts about them in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here.
And that's really it. I mean, it's really sad what's happened to what they're doing, but this over here is just unacceptable. And the fact that Capcom is using this as their poster to promote the collaboration, I think is awful. It's absolutely awful. There's no excuse for that. There's no reason why they should have done this, especially when they misled the community to what they thought they were getting. Either way, let me know what you think in the comment section below, because clearly modding these characters out and putting something else in is an absolute no-no. I know people are going to do it. Just make sure if you do it, you're not streaming it or doing anything that's going to make it public, because Capcom will be coming after you. They're on their crusade, and they're not going to stop until they can sell you that skin. Right, folks, that's pretty much it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Main Legend.